is the race leader, Randy LaJoie, as we welcome you back to South Boston Speedway. Boy, it's been one of those tough nights tonight for Glenn Allen. He was 9th in points at this time a year ago. Now he's 22nd in points. He's not had one of those good years, and he got caught up in that accident. But how about guys like Buckshot Jones? We talked about him earlier. 33rd in points at this time a year ago. Now he's 6th. Tim Feeder was 17th in points a year ago at this race. Now he's 7th. Kevin LePage was 14th a year ago. Now he's 9th in points. It's really nice to see guys get some good breaks.
Yeah, Buckshot, you know, he's in sort of the ideal situation. He came into the sport, and at first he struggled. He didn't have experienced people around him, but they got Ricky Pearson, one of the best crew chiefs on the circuit, working with him, and he's really been allowed to grow to his full potential in that car each time, and that's just an ideal position for a driver. And of course, Tim Feedaway at 33, he's now one of the strongest crew chiefs on the circuit as well, with Steve Bird overseeing both of those, the 33 and the 74 teams.
Right, the base motorsports entries. You see the cleanup still continuing out there in turn number 1, so we've got time for a Tech Fact, brought to you by the more than 1,575 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. Here is Mr. Tech Fact, Glenn Jarrett.
Well, thanks, Eli. We're parked at the back of what's left of Shane Hall Chevrolet right now. We're always stressing how NASCAR talks about safety, how they implement the greatest safety precautions in racing anywhere in the world. You look at this fuel cell in the back of this race car here, and look how badly mangled and beat up it is. This is what Hermie Sadler did when he drove into the back of Shane Hall. Not one single drop of gasoline leaked out of this fuel cell. It did not crack, split, burst open, anything. Great technology from NASCAR. Kept these guys from having a tremendously serious fire here. I can't believe this thing withstood the impact that it did, and not one single drop of gasoline was lost. Good job, NASCAR. Good job from the guys that made the fuel cell, too. This was one tremendous hit.
And a very important Tech Fact there. Barry Dodson, let's take it a step further. From your NASCAR Winston Cup Championship days right now into the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series with the Ultra Wheels team for Mike Bliss, what's been the biggest step, if you can even, I don't even know if you can pinpoint it to just one, what's been the biggest 1 or 2 safety improvements that NASCAR has implemented in your mind?
Well, the main one happened, you know, years prior, has to be the fuel cell, as Glenn mentioned, the roof flaps. We got them in the trucks right now. The greatest innovation for safety that I've ever seen.
And I felt for you guys, by the way. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race last week at Texas Motor Speedway, and your driver Mike Bliss, I thought he might have one tucked away. It didn't quite happen that way. Came home right behind.
Well, we got one tucked away. We just hadn't broke it out yet.
Came home 5th there, as you did in Tucson. Had a 2nd at Homestead, though. It's been a good year. Mike's a very talented race truck driver in that circumstance.
We're poised. We've had some trouble 3 or 4 times this year. The 2 leaders ahead of us in points, that's the first time they had struggled, and yet we're right there. We went from close from 80 points to 60, so I'd say we're on the money. And
next stop will be on to Bristol Motor Speedway next weekend for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. We are going back to green. Randy LaJoie leads. Todd Bodine is 2nd. Mike McLaughlin is 3rd. Mike Dillon 4th. Steve Park is 5th. We are 4 laps away from that Gatorade front runner bonus. Remember, it's still hanging on from midway in the race about 26 laps ago. Green is in the air. We're back to work, wrapping up caution, the 6th of the evening. Bodine there in the 36. Setzer is a lap down in 20th position there, the 43 car. They're not battling for position. He's a lap down.
Okay, if he's got the tires like he had earlier, he'll go back to the bottom. That's his only chance. He can't quite do it. Let's see if he can later on.
Phil Parsons in 7th. We're riding with the Channel Lock Chevy. Midway down the back straightaway, and again, that's the local favorite, Stacy Puryear. Caution is on the speedway. Caution is on the speedway. lap number 179. Very talented young man, Stacy Puryear. You might remember him as being a fine chassis specialist over the years. He has worked for the likes of Jeff Burton, for Mark Martin, the J&J Racing Team, Ricky Craven, and others. And he's a real popular, very successful driver here in South Boston in their NASCAR Winston Racing Series action. And we talked a good bit today, and he said, I just want to do well and not embarrass myself. And he's held his own. It's tough to step in for the first time like this.
Not only him, but the 51 team is not running on a regular basis. So, you know, if you're not out there every week, week in and week out, the team is not going to be, you know, quite on top of their game either.
Just in front of Elton Sawyer as he spins out towards the wall. Pretty significant hit again. That's Jim Bound's car, the number 51. They tested, the team did, earlier in the week, trying to just acclimate themselves. They tested at the Orange County Speedway in Rougemont, North Carolina on Wednesday. But Stacy Puryear brings out the caution, 7th of the evening at lap number 179 of 300. Randy LaJoie still leading, as he has been since 136.